And we are live with session 5 of our Drowned Gods game. And we'll go ahead and just get started. Like always, who wants to give the recap in return for a hero point? And also remember to reset your hero points to 1.
I'm going to go pregnancy brain, and I'm going to blame pregnancy brain and say not me.
I'll give the recap. I feel like I give it a lot though, so I kind of feel bad.
Yeah, you did give the last one. Are you sure you don't want to give
I'm
a
the one
recap,
before
Jason?
that.
I can give the recap. I think this is an easy one.
Yeah, this one
Yeah.
should be pretty easy.
Pretty sure all we did was knock the socks off some lobsters.
You knocked the socks off one lobster.
Well, and we snuck past the rest. That's knocking their socks off.
I guess. I mean, I guess you knocked their socks off while they got their rocks off?
We knocked their socks off with high stealth rolls.
Yeah.
We stole their socks and put them on our feet so that we didn't make noise.
There you go. But yeah, so you were able to sneak past the majority of the lobsters in the lava field, in large part because they seem to have been mating at the time, so they were pretty distracted, except for the one that you snuck up on and just absolutely eviscerated it with some stealth attacks, and then dragged it away with you to have for dinner. And then,
delicious.
Do you remember what happened after that?
I think I left.
There's a crazy guy.
No, we met the old man, right?
Oh, we met the old man. That was last session.
Was.
I thought that was before for some reason. Why did I think that was before the lobsters?
Sure, maybe you were confusing it with, like, meeting your spirit animals?
I don't know. But yeah, we met that old dude, and he turned out to be really friendly.
You met a crazy old fire hermit who seems to worship the volcano and was able to share some wisdom with you about the ways of fire and how to handle it, and was also making a nice stew up there with his fancy technology of cooking. Who'd have thunk of that? And you had quite the feast up there as he talked about the secret ways of flame and how he learned of them, and how the volcano and the god that lived within it kind of ran your lives and is the source of life and light on this island. And yeah, it had gotten pretty late, and he'd kind of turned in as you guys were eating the last bits of stew. Of course, Agaluku ate the vast majority of the stew, being a big boy like he is. And the hermit is kind of just nodded off in a corner, rather unexpectedly. He is old after all. And you guys are looking out. It's gotten fairly dark, but there's still light from the fire that is set in the middle. Again, that's something that's a little unusual for you. Generally, unless you have moonlight, you're just pretty much in the dark as soon as it's nighttime. And Sammy comes back in from outside where she has been eating, because thanks to that particular kapu, she's not allowed to eat within sight of you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, real quick, why don't I go through the list of the kapu, because it has been a while since we put those together. For inconvenient kapu, we have men and women cannot eat where they can see a member of the opposite gender. Fruit can only be consumed by a chieftain or those they gift it to. Everyone must sleep facing the North Star. Once in your life, you must make a pilgrimage to the top of an active, semi-active, or recently active volcano, which you guys are doing now. You must wear a shell necklace at all times, which results in a -1 to stealth checks as it kind of rattles. Black birds are bad luck, so if you spot one, you lose a hero point. Public displays of affection are not allowed. If there's a green flash during sunset, you are haunted by the spirits of your ancestors. You have to follow their orders for the entire night. You can only enter caves or other underground spaces when it's raining. If you see a snake, someone in the group must try to grab it by the tail and swing it to death. And whoever does that gets +1 hero points. And probably also bitten. And then upon finding a new island, you must circle it 3 times while chanting before you can land. And the last one is, on a blood moon, you turn into your spirit animal. And then your one positive, Kapu, is that every morning you must participate in ritual stretching, which gives everyone a +1 to athletics where applicable.
I don't know if we've been doing the stealth check.
I was last time because I was rolling for you since you were using like sneak actions mostly, and
Okay.
those are all like secret rolls, and so I was counting the -1.
I should have known. The GM's got it under control.
Well, I mean, the one time I actually remembered something. I also gave everybody advantage because Jason was succeeding at his stealth rolls, and then got to do that like half the time. And I kept rolling like out loud instead of secret rolls like I was supposed to. Anyway, it's a good assumption to just like generally plan on me not remembering things. Yeah, so you know the snoring and the old man is snoring quite loudly in the corner. You can see him just kind of in a wrinkled ball where he's just kind of leaned against the wall and doesn't look very comfortable, but you know it is what it is. It's kind of like when kids fall asleep randomly and you're like, that doesn't seem like a comfortable angle for you.
Yeah, and I think Agaluku had fallen asleep too, like in his bowl of soup.
You know, so Sammy comes in, you know, from outdoors. Once you guys have finished eating, or I guess you'd have to ask if you're finished eating. So you hear a voice from outside the hut. Are you guys done eating?
I mean, I'm done. I don't know about Akalupu over there.
Who's
Akalupu
asleep in his
snores
bowl of soup.
loudly.
Oh. I mean, like, does that count as eating? How legalistic do we want to be here?
I
I
mean,
would say
his
Agaluku is not currently eating.
yeah. So is that a yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. It was getting kind of cold out here. And so she comes in and you can see she is shivering just a little bit. Up here at the higher altitudes, it's significantly colder than you guys are used to at the lower areas of the island, and your clothing is really, you know, not especially suited to the altitude you're at. What little clothing you are wearing, which is not much. But you know, it's nice and toasty in the hut with the fire crackling in the center, and little chimney where the smoke is able to escape. So it's smoky, but not unbearably so. So she does cough a little bit when she first comes in, but you know, the rest of you have kind of already had a chance to adjust to the smoke. So Sammy starts going around and begins collecting the kaihanas that you have been eating out of, the little coconut bowls. And she says, I'll take these out and wash them. Quote unquote wash. There's no water around. She's gonna rub sand on them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Could one of you grab the soup bowl? So there's the big pot in the middle where the soup was cooking. So she points at that. It's a little heavy for me, I think.
I'll grab it.
You.
Quick question. Do I know that like the big soup bowl will be hot? Or is that like not something that I can like does that make sense?
Yeah. So it would be hot toward the bottom and so if you grabbed it near the fire, it would definitely be hot. But stone, just because of it is not a great conductor. Once it gets hot, it stays hot, but it doesn't conduct heat very well. So the parts of the stone pot that are away from the fire would still be cool enough to touch, warm but not
So
burning you.
I'm gonna grab it near the top.
All right. So yes, it is warm, but not so much so that you would burn yourself. So yeah, so the two of you kind of head out and go a short ways away from the hut to do the cleaning and find an area that has some fine volcanic sand, and she begins to scrub out the dishes. And so while she's doing that, she kind of
No.
looks back at you and says, "You asked earlier about my powers and where they came from. What about you, though? You washed ashore here, and you've had your strange powers pretty much, I mean, as long as I can remember. Uh, Always causing weird things and bright lights out of nowhere, and um, it seems like you have a lot of control over it. You were even throwing ice at those lobsters."
I mean, I suppose, but a lot of it just kind of comes from necessity and like when I'm really feel the urge to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the same for me. Of course, I've only been doing it more recently, but I don't know that I can control it very much. It's almost a reaction. I see something and I need something to happen, and it does. I do think it must have something to do with Chi-Chi, though.
Yeah, those I think you're right. I think these animals that well, I don't want to say follow us around. I think the same thing that draws them to us is what gives us a special power. I'm trying to kind of think about that in light of what that old man said. What do you think about him?
He sounded interesting. It was a little hard to catch everything that he said from outside, but
Oh yeah.
from what I could hear, it sounded like worships fire, which is strange. Fire is destructive. It's burnt down the village more than once after lightning storms, and somehow though he's contained it and tamed it almost, kind of like the sheep on the island or the or goats. I don't remember.
I think they're sheep, yeah. Yeah. If only we could learn to make this domesticated fire like he does. I think it could help us a lot. That food definitely carries a lot farther in my stomach because of
Yeah,
it.
it was delicious, and yeah, it is domesticated. Yeah, it was delicious. I've never had anything like that.
I know. I'll see if we can't replicate somehow with further up the mountain or further on our travel.
So,
Just as a quick huh?
uh,
I was
so, all right, go with your question first.
okay. I was gonna say just as a quick question. We haven't decided about anything like after the volcano yet, right?
I'm not sure what you
We're
mean.
just like we haven't decided we're gonna do anything after like the volcano. Like right now, like our current thing is just to get to the top of the volcano.
That is your current objective. Yes, is to get to the top of the volcano. But afterward, you would be returning to the village. At which point, there would be a feast and a celebration of your becoming adults.
Cool.
So, how long have you had your raven? I don't remember him until the last few years, and you've had your powers longer than that.
Yeah, one day he just sort of showed up on the island. I haven't quite seen any other birds that look like him, but I don't know where he came from. But yeah, he just flew down from the trees one day, kept following me around.
So he's not so much like a channel for your power as much as just like he was attracted to your power.
I think so. Or I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, what's weird is that I haven't seen any other birds like him, so I don't. I would think if my power attracted animals, like
Oh yeah,
genuinely.
you know what? Abe permanently has no hero points because he has a black bird.
Oh, that's right. Dang. I really do need to give those intros every time. Speaking of which,
Yeah,
is it a raven?
I think so. Did we? It
Let
should
me
be
see.
on your character
Character.
sheet. Shinik profile. Yes, Raven.
Oh dang.
A
Oh
chaotic good
dang.
Raven.
No wonder
Maybe
people
it's an
hate me in the
albino
village.
Raven. Maybe it's an
There
albino
we
Raven.
go. Like me.
Yeah, dude, I know. I like that. It's a Raven, but it's an albino Raven. So you get away. It's not a blackbird, and it's fancy and unique.
There we go. I like it. Oh man, that was. I didn't think about that.
I didn't either. Yeah, we just have like Kashinik decides to pull a 101 Dalmatians and just rolls around in some ash or some coal to turn himself black, and then comes out, and then you.
There we go. Exactly. No, he just mysteriously stays white. That's part of it's part of his thing.
There we go.
Yeah. No, I've never seen any other birds like him.
Me either. He's
Does
really
does it does
gorgeous, just white like that. So few things on the island are white, like a
I
cloud.
know. Yeah, that's why sometimes I lose him when he's but he always comes back. I used to worry about him getting lost or hurt, but he seems to have some sort of I don't know, way of always figuring his things out.
Yeah, yeah. I feel the same way about Chi Chi. Chi Chi's always come back, even when I thought I had lost him. Honestly, I feel more like Chi Chi looks after me than the other way around.
You know, I feel the same. How long have you had Chief for?
A few years. I found Chi Chi out in the woods at one point when I was gathering herbs. He was hurt. Um, he had been attacked, I think, by one of the cats on the island. Are there cats on this island? There are now.
There we go.
He'd been attacked by one of the cats on the island, but somehow had managed to drag himself into a hollow in the roots of a tree and escape. And I brought him home and nursed him back to health. And a lot like Kashyyyk, Chi-Chi is a very strange color. I've never seen any other rats the same color, and at night it's almost like his eyes glow red.
Hmm. I wish I knew what it all meant. But unfortunately, it looks like there's so many questions, not a lot of answers. When there are answers, they come through things like the old man, and very confusing.
Yeah. He he certainly did seem to like to talk in circles a little bit. All right, well, I think this is as clean as we're going to get them, she says as she shakes the sand out of the last bowl. Are you ready to head back into the warmth? It's only getting colder out here. Didn't realize it
Yeah, it
got
seems
so
like a
cold
good
this
idea.
high up on the island.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced. It doesn't snow on our island, does it?
Not generally. Not enough that you would really know about it. At the very highest point of the island, there might be snow very occasionally, but it would be an odd thing.
I see. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been this cold in my life.
Me either. All right, so you guys head back in. Meanwhile, Manawanui, you have woken up from your soup-induced coma, and you were having an interesting dream about your older brother, who is actually a midget. I don't think is the proper term for that anymore. A small person, whatever the correct
Little.
terminology is.
I feel like that's worse.
Yeah, I should know, but I'm not sure what the correct term for that is. But yeah, it's a very stark contrast to you. Your older brother is like 3.5 feet tall, um, and but plenty of personality to make up for it. But in your dream, you actually dream that you're the same size as him, and the two of you are running through the forest, and there's some sort of large bird that keeps like swooping down and trying to grab you, and you trying to grab like on a branch or something to defend yourself, but they're all just out of reach above your head. And then just as the bird is coming down and you can see its wicked gleaming claws about to dig into you, you wake with a start.
Do you mean Agaluku, right?
Yes, who did I say?
You said Manawanui. I think.
Yes,
Pretty sure.
I'm not sure. If I said the wrong thing, then yes, Anna, I meant your character, Akalupu.
Okay. I thought you meant me, but then I was like, if this isn't me, like I'm gonna feel bad if I'm like taking somebody else's part of the story.
Nope.
That's not good. I'm gonna go do some push-ups. I go outside and I start doing push-ups and pull-ups in the trees nearby. Because I need to feel strong. I can't feel like I'm gonna die like that. And I continue to do push-ups and pull-ups.
Okay. What about PPOP? What have you been doing while the dishes were being washed?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. What was PPOP doing? PPOP was having trouble understanding fire in relation to his talk with the snake-like being from the underground root system. But some things were clicking, and I was back in one of my kind of broody but thinking deeply about things states. And I kind of got jostled from my introspection from the awakening of Agaluku.
Mm-hmm. Were you just kind of like absent-mindedly feeding the fire?
Just staring at it.
Yeah.
Just watching the licks of flame.
All right.
That's what I like doing in real life too.
Yeah, it is mesmerizing. Fire is fun to watch. Okay. So Agaluku is outside. Presumably you went out past the stacks of rocks surrounding the hut, or are you just like kicking them over because you're Agaluku?
I mean, I went outside of them because I needed something to do good pull-ups on.
There you go.
Not the side of the hermit's house.
Nah, too rocky.
Collapses the roof.
Just doing some bouldering.
Yeah.
Because it is right by a cliff face.
Oh yeah, doing some bouldering, doing a lot of like dynamic, like jumping to different holds, like finding a bunch of like giant boulders and like rolling them down the hill. And then rolling them back up the hill because I'm just that much of a man.
There you go. Yeah, let's get a climb check. Just see if you fall off and hurt yourself.
I'm gonna die.
I'm in danger.
You now play as Akaluku's midget brother.
Yep. Yeah, the whole rest of the game you're just Palolaka.
Not gonna lie though,
Where's
that
my
would be an
characters?
interesting turn.
That would be funny.
Characters. Agaluku. To find my climb skill. Skills. And acrobatics.
Is there should be a climb action? Acrobatics. Oh, athletics. Yes, athletic climb is an athletics action.
Okay. Cool. Star. 120. Whoop.
What'd you get?
Got an 8.
An 8?
Yeah. I have a +5, so I rolled a 3.
At least you
Nice.
didn't get a 6.
All right. Well, let's see how bad that is. I think you're probably fine since you're just bouldering. But yeah, 241. Let's see, climb. Blah blah blah. Climb.
Yeah, and like since I
But
am
yeah, since you're
bouldering,
just
it's not
since
like
you're
I'm
just
going very high.
yeah, since you're just bouldering, as long as you're not going fast, you're fine.
Yeah, nah. I'm mostly just
Alrighty.
like doing pull-ups.
Yeah.
I'm just
Alright,
doing
so
like what I used to do at the climbing gym. I'm just like doing it just with my arms.
yep.
I'm just going slow and like and pull up, ooh, and then next hold and pull up, ooh.
If you don't work on them legs, you're gonna fall off on some pendulum.
Yeah, so you're doing that. Yeah, everyone kind of ends up back in there. The Hermit at one point, after you guys have almost settled in and are starting to get ready to go to sleep, suddenly the hermit just kind of like uh stops snoring and then just like kind of gets up and grabs a few sticks and logs and puts them on the fire and says, "Gotta keep her fed," and then just kind of goes back to the corner and just immediately falls back asleep.
Loki, I think he's gonna.
Just make sure he's not following us up to feed us to the volcano.
There you go. You guys are just getting ready to throw in your offerings, and he just comes behind and kicks you in. And he just does the same thing too. He's just like, "Gotta keep her fed." Alrighty, so yeah, it is now getting quite late, and you guys have been traveling quite a bit, so you're all getting tired at this point.
I think I'm going to hit the hay.
I would assume everyone is.
Yeah, I mean, Agaluku comes in smelling very much like BO and just like passes out on the table.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Akalupu is not much for bathing, so I don't think that's unusual for him.
Yeah, no. Who has time to bathe when they could be working out?
Exactly. And none of you smell great. You guys have been like crawling through the forest, and Ethiopi fell in a hole, and Akalupu was playing in the mud at one point. Yeah, y'all are all a mess. All right, so you guys settle in and get comfortable on the beds of leaves that you guys had prepared earlier. And yeah, sleep is not long coming to any of you except PPOP, who seems to still have trouble calming his mind enough to sleep, and still finds himself staring at the fire without even meaning to. Um, Then yeah, so the night progresses, and Mana Nui, you are uh, find yourself in a dark space, and you can hear the sound of waves around you and dripping, as well as the sound of heavy rain and the lightning and thunder, somehow muffled. And you start to grope around you in this inky blackness. You can't see anything whatsoever, and you can feel hard, smooth surfaces, even harder than stone somehow, and cold, very cold to the touch. And eventually you manage to catch a hold of something. It feels vaguely circular and kind of cylindrical, like the branch of a tree, but smoother and impossibly even. And somehow instinctively, you know to grab one side of it and pull it down, and you hear a high pitched whining noise that is very foreign to you. And in your mind, you half realize that you're dreaming. You recognize this as a dream you've had many times uh, over the years. But regardless of that half realization, you still can't help but feel as though this were happening to you. And so uh, you brace all of your weight against the ground and pull back on the grip that you have, and you hear some more of that high pitched groaning, almost as if from an animal or a person in pain. And you can now feel wetness splashing across your skin, though you still can't see anything. and you find yourself rather unsteadily walking. The ground almost seems to be shifting and moving underneath you as you move along. But you unsteadily make your way forward. You don't know where, you don't know why, but the thunder and the lightning is crashing louder, and you can feel the rain pelting against your skin hard, but you can also tell that you're crying, but you can't remember why. And you make your way forward, and you hear voices in front of you. Quiet and hard to understand over the rain. Um, but as you get closer, you hear a man's voice, um, and there's a tinge of worry in his tone. Um, oh, well, that's rather a large one, wasn't it, Reginald? Uh, you don't recognize that name. Seems a rather strange name to you. Nothing like any of the names that you're familiar with. Um, but then you can feel yourself looking off to the side, away from the voices, and you still can't see anything. But you hear a rushing, roaring noise, far louder than even the rain as it is pelting around you. Um, and you hear the man's voice again. Oh, we better hold on to something. That looks like a big one. And then you begin to panic, and you're looking around everywhere, but you just can't see anything. Um, and the roaring gets closer and closer to you. And then you hear a panicked yell, um, and someone shouts your name. So you can't really make out what that name is. You recognize it as your own, but it's just a muffled um, mixture of nonsense. And then suddenly you feel something slam into you, as though someone had just run into you at full speed and slammed into you with their shoulder. Um, and you feel yourself being dragged away, um, and you hear the yelling from that man's voice still, um, but then everything begins to fade to just grayness, and the only image you can summon is that of a moustache. You wake with a start, uh, finding it very difficult to breathe.
Oh, oh goodness. Is it morning yet?
So it's not. As you look at you begin to look around, and your limbs feel very heavy. You really can't control them. You feel like you can lift your head slightly. And you've had this dream many times, and it always seems to end with this feeling of um, difficulty breathing. But normally it passes quickly, and this time it doesn't seem to be doing that. And as you crane your neck, still unable to will the rest of your limbs into action, you see sitting on your chest a mid-sized calico-colored rat, which you quickly recognize as Chi-Chi, with bright red glowing eyes looking directly at you. Then you can swear that you hear a voice in your head, and it says, "Best be careful with asking too many questions about Sammy. You might not like the answers." And then,
Uh,
as you're beginning to panic, you see Chi-Chi begin to slowly crawl toward your face, and you're still unable to move. And you see its sharp teeth clicking against each other rather threateningly. And then suddenly you gasp, and you wake up yet again and roll over, and now your limbs are finally able to move as you roll out of bed, breathing heavily as if you had been, drowning.
Oof. Whew. I'm gonna look around for Shinnick, my bird.
Kashinik
Um,
Kashinik is perched on top of one of the piles of stones just outside the hut.
I think. Am I the first one awake?
Yes, so at this point, you can just barely see the first tinges of light on the horizon, but that's it.
I think I'm going to like walk outside. While trying to locate as I go. Chi Chi.
So yeah, so you get up, and you pretty easily, with even the dim light of the fire in the center of the room, you do see Sammy in her place where she had bedded down, and Chi-Chi curled up, kind of in the crook of her arm. And as you look, you can almost swear you see the glint of its eye looking at you. Can't be certain.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly, but kind of like very quietly, try and go outside and just stretch my legs in the morning air and kind of a little bit, because I'm still a bit groggy and sleepy. So I still get some of that like fear from my dream,
Oh yeah,
and
you have so much
specifically from
adrenaline
Chi
just
Chi.
pumping through your system.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go out and just kind of like walk around, clear my head.
All right, Kashinik, as soon as you come out, flaps over and alights on your shoulder.
There. I'm gonna kind of like put a reassuring hand on his talon, sort of like just to remind myself that he's there, and if
Yeah.
something happens, he's got my back.
Kashinik caws appreciatively.
And yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of like walk around, look around.
All
We're not
right.
in the tree line, right?
No, so you are kind of past. It's not so much because you're above the tree line, and more so just because you're right by the volcano, and largely the area right around you is still pretty much just volcanic. Um, you know, dried lava flows and the like. It hasn't had a chance for much vegetation to grow on it.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna walk around and kind of like look around, going on, if anything.
All right. Yeah. So at this point, everyone else is probably starting to wake up as the sun is coming out. Um, and you don't see anything too out of the ordinary. As the sun is coming up, you do see the volcano looming large, the very last bit of your journey ahead of you. Um, and off in the distance, you can see a few rock lobsters still scuttling around, going about their day, and cavorting in lava pools, and they seem to dig through the ground, finding choice bits of ore and munching on them. So yeah, with morning coming, anyone who isn't awake is certainly awakened when the old man wakes up and just immediately starts to just kind of sing nonsense songs to himself. You're pretty sure most of the words in them aren't even made up or aren't even real. um, but he just immediately starts going, like 3 cocoa bananas in the tree growing tall in the shade for me. Oh, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Hopefully you enjoyed my cozy little hut and had a good night's sleep. Um, And you look at him now as the sun is coming up. You really haven't gotten much of a good look at him since it's been pretty dim, and especially once he went back in the hut, he was obscured by the smoke. But as you guys are coming out of the hut and yawning and stretching, and you see the old man finally in the light of the sun. You can see that before you had thought he was just extremely wrinkled, but more so even than that, you realize now that he is scarred and burned across his entire body.
Ooh. You don't mind me asking, venerated grandfather, how did you get so scarred?
Well, the secrets of fire don't just give themselves up easily. Sacrifices must be made in order to gain knowledge.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely very nervous now. We should definitely watch our backs when we're going up to the top.
Well, you'd best be off if you're going to make it and to the top.
I agree. I
I,
think we should start heading out. Good day.
I can tell you that there are two main ways up there that you can kind of choose from. Uh, there's a hidden path I can tell you about. It's safer, though it's got a few pretty steep areas, so it might be a tough climb. But you see, if you head up the mountain, and he kind of points to a little cleft right there. If you take a left turn, you'll find a crack that runs straight up, almost to the top. You can climb there if you want to. Otherwise, well, feel free to take the path over there. And he points to a fairly obvious path with various switchbacks on it, and it has had some amount of traffic. But do be aware that there seems to be some soft spots in the trail these days that might give you a bit of trouble as well.
Which way would you go?
Well, these days, neither. My knees ain't really up to that kind of thing anymore.
That doesn't help me.
Well, young whippersnappers like you, I don't expect you'll have too much trouble at one way or the other. I'd say the hardest part of your journey is behind you.
Hmm.
Well, that's promising. Thanks for all your advice.
All right. Of course, and feel free to never visit me again.
All right, let's head out.
Which way should we go? I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling very uncomfortable with that second option. I don't know why. It just
So you want to
I
take the
think
climb?
I think we should take the climb.
Let's take the climb. Sammy, do you feel like you're up for the climb?
What is her climb? I'm gonna guess not great, but let's see how she feels about climbing.
Don't worry, I can strap her to my back.
There we go. Pull yourself and Sammy at the same time
Mm-hmm.
up the mountain. That's definitely not gonna end badly when you roll an 8 next time.
Like Fezzik in The Princess Bride.
Exactly. Uh,
But see, or she can just climb above me, and then like, if she starts slipping, I could catch her.
we said climb was athletics. Yeah, she has a +0 in athletics.
Oof.
I really don't climb much. Just I have trouble keeping a grip, to be honest.
Let's go to the Well, I guess we can go the second route.
Yeah, let's take the path then.
All right.
Sounds good.
Alright, so you guys head out. What's the marching order?
I'll scout.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'll go next.
Agaluku will take up the rear and fend off anything that tries to attack us. And also
And-
watch out for the creepy old man who I'm pretty sure is going to try to kill us in the bunker.
Go. And then Sammy will be in the middle, I suppose. Sounds like a plan.
We're all gonna die.
That's still frozen.
We're all gonna die.
My book is frozen. I can't look up the thing I need to look up. Okay, here we go.
I feel like it's never a good thing when the GM has to look something up.
No, don't worry about it.
Everything.
Yeah, so you guys, you progress along. The trail itself is fairly straightforward. And then, PPOP was scouting, so roll a nice little secret perception. +7, right?
That sounds right. Yes.
A little bit confused by here.
We're all gonna die.
Okay, I see what. Alright, so let me roll this perception check. Then another secret check. So, PPOP, you out in the lead. And
Good knowing you.
you spotted a bit too late. But as you're going along, you find an area that is largely been broken up by the weather to where it's more volcanic sand.
Why didn't we tie ourselves together?
Say
Big
this.
Witch, how far ahead are you scouting? Like out of sight? Just like,
No, like 5 to 10 meters.
Okay.
Like a few paces ahead.
Alright. But yeah, so that being the case. Well, I guess we need to be fairly specific. About like so you are are you 5 paces ahead? Is
We
that
need to
about
be
what you
fairly
said?
specific.
Yes, fairly specific. Give me like within like a 10-foot, like within 10-foot increments. How far ahead are you?
Like 50 feet.
Okay. So yeah, so just you, and everyone can kind of see you up ahead. But you're stepping out. First, you think nothing of it, but then suddenly your feet start to sink into the sand.
Oh shit. This is bad.
Um.
How fast am I
So
thinking?
fairly slowly. But at this point, we do move to encounter mode. So let's get some initiative. So you were using perception since you were scouting. Is anyone using anything other than perception? Cool. Go ahead and initiatives. Need to add a placeholder app. Oh,
Where is perception?
they put it under combat, I think.
I feel like
Oh,
we
there it is.
changed the interface.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's different. It definitely looks a bit different.
Yeah, it definitely looks different. Agree.
Add it to the stage. It's not letting me add Quicksand. I have to just do it manually if it's going to make this a pain. There we go. Add the stage. Yes, please. Now, you roll the initiatives.
Oh goodness, the quicksand is alive.
Yeah, so traps in second edition often actually enter into initiative order and are part of it, which is something that's a little different. So it is just quicksand, but it actually has a turn in the initiative order. Okay, we begin. Alright, so Sammy technically can't do anything yet. So Quicksand is first of the people who matter because everyone else is gonna Quicksand and Pipiopi are gonna go first before anyone can actually do anything because he's kind of ahead of you guys by quite a bit, so you're not able to react. Yeah, so it is going to try to submerge you. So on triggering, which it has already done, you sink into the quicksand up to your waist, and it rolls initiative if it already hasn't, which it has. Then on its initiative, the quicksand pulls down on each creature within it. The creature that was submerged up to the waist becomes submerged up to the neck, and a creature that was submerged up to the neck is pulled under and has to hold its breath to avoid suffocation.
We about to die.
On your turn, you can roll an athletics or swim check. Or no, just an athletic. Well, swim is an athletic skill. But yeah, so you can roll an athletics check to try and raise yourself by 1 step or move 5 feet. It is a 20-foot patch. I guess let's draw this on a map real quick. That'll make things a little easier. We should. Guy. Tokens. Right, hopefully you guys can see. Yeah. All right, so
I don't see.
PPOP.
I see white grid.
That's all you should see right now. I deleted everything. But can you
Oh,
see
okay.
your tokens here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so you were 50 feet ahead, you said?
Yes.
That would put you here. And then the sand, that real quick. That's bigger. Draw. Do they have a shape? Can I tell it to draw a circle? I am terrible. Let's do this. Roughly that. You can see what I just drew.
Yeah.
I can.
Don't have a lobster with you. All right. That is roughly what we've got going on. And then you guys are on a path, kind of up the side of the volcano. So you have kind of the edge of the volcano here, and the edge of the path here. Yeah, there's what's going on.
Nice.
Right, so yeah, so you are pulled down on its turn to your neck. Then we'll skip that. We'll just say that's all one turn. So on its turn, it triggered and pulled you down to your waist level. Or no. Yeah, it triggers, and then on its turn, it pulls you down after rolling initiative. Okay, so you are down to your neck. Got it. And that is its turn. So, Anawanui can't. Well, I guess people can do something on this. Like you can see it pulling down. So I guess Sammy for her turn will just move up. So Sammy squeaks, PPOP, and moves up. Also, I looked it up last time. Turns out that humans actually do have a 25-foot move speed in 2nd edition. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, turns out that the 25-foot speed is actually correct.
Weird.
So how does
Why did you
Manawanui
say
have 30?
Because he's
Is
an
it
elf.
because he's a part elf?
Yep.
Oh.
See, guys,
And
I'm
elves have a
sunburned
30-foot
chaos.
move speed. Alright, so
I
that
got
was
confused
Sammy's.
because it says he's a human, but that's because we think he's a human.
Yeah, well, and he is
Yeah.
half human. He's half human, half elf. And then one of the things he got for being half elf was the elvish 30-foot move speed.
Cool.
And also sunburns.
Yes, also sunburn.
And also,
Alright, so that's Quicksand's turn. Slurps you down to your neck. You can feel yourself quickly being pulled under, and just this thing is sucking and pulling at you like wet cement. Not that you know what cement is. Manawanui.
alrighty, I have 3 actions. Is that correct?
Correct.
Alrighty. First, going. Move. Well, that's kind of.
And even though, here, I'll move you back real quick, and I'm going to do
Sure.
something. Because technically, like, you guys can sort of roughly figure out which parts of sinking sand, but not really. So I'm moving that to the GM layer where you guys can't see it anymore. And for the rest of this, you're going to
Okay.
have to just try to remember.
I'm.
Because
We're
obviously,
gonna get killed.
yeah, obviously, PPOP got sucked down into it and didn't like spot it beforehand. It's not super obvious where it is. All right, now you can take your turn.
I'm gonna move here, and then I'm gonna do a nature check and see if there's anything I know to do. Situation.
Everybody do the flop.
Stay back. Save yourselves.
I got a 15.
All right, so you got a 15 for a nature check. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to see if there's like anything I can do to help.
Um. I don't know if you've ever dealt with sinking sand before. Probably
Dang it.
not.
Huh.
Well, wouldn't that be something that's like fairly common to kind of happen like near the ocean? Like even not to this extreme, but kind of.
Fair enough. But yeah, so you know that like you get sucked down into it, and that you kind of have to pull yourself out. Generally, you want to spread your body to have as much surface area as possible because you can kind of float on it to a certain extent. And that it's often difficult to get someone out without endangering yourself getting sucked in as well.
Alright.
Perhaps if you had a long stick, or if you had the
Oh!
technology for ropes, which you do not.
I have a long stick.
How long though?
I have a staff which the notes are loading.
I don't think your staff is 30 feet long.
We don't know. It could be. Yeah, I guess all I can do is shout that information that I just recalled to PPOP. You gotta stay spread out and don't struggle hard, but also try and spread your body out slowly.
Everybody do that. Blah.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
if
like
you
a transformer animal friend, can't he like go mecha mode
wait.
and help me out?
wait, the
Mostly
bird?
kidding. But can the bird help me?
The bird could actually technically do an athletics check to try and like help pull you up.
Can I do that? Real quick?
Sure.
Alrighty. I think I got logged out. Somebody logged me.
I don't know what Kashinik's athletic
I
is
think
though.
it's a +0. Oh no,
It's a +1. Nice.
That's the same as
Hey.
me.
You have a +1 in athletics. Oh, this is gonna be a fun time.
Oh, he got
Better
a 7.
hurry up and make a human chain.
I'm sorry. I don't think Kashinik's helping anybody.
No, Kashinik, like you tell him to go out there, and he starts like trying to grab PPOP, but more or less is just managing to stab him with his talons.
Just pulls out a chunk of hair. You wanted
Pretty
to be
much.
bald, right?
Although I'm just gonna be like completely oblivious. I'm like, save him! They're doing a good job.
All right, so that
Attaboy.
is Kashinik and Mano Inui. PPOP, it is your turn.
So I'm allowed to do what? Swim?
Yes, so you can make an athletics check. If you succeed, you can swim to either raise yourself by 1 step. So basically, you can go back to where it's just up to your waist. Or you can move 5 feet.
Oh, yikes.
I thought he was at his waist.
No, he's at his neck.
Yeah, it sucked him down to his neck. But you can only move 5 feet when you are submerged to your waist, so you would have to go 1 step up first. On a critical failure, you go down 1 step, and if you can swim out of the quicksand, you escape.
Okay. Roll. 11. I wanna.
What do we roll for a holding our breath check?
We'll get to that if we need to.
I'm gonna use my hero point to roll again.
Uh-oh.
19.
Alrighty, that is just a wee bit better.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so you are able to pull yourself and struggle up to where it's just your waist in the sand now.
I
Yay.
can put mine on speaker.
And so that is a skill action.
Yeah, so I think that's just 1 action.
It is. So do I take a penalty if I do the same action again?
Not
Or is
in
that
this-
just attack?
It's kind of like just with your stride, where you can stride 3 times to go 3 times your speed. You can do it 3 times here as well.
All right, let's do it. Because I think that's all I can do. A 6, and for my third action, a 16,
All right. So the 6 obviously does not work, but with the 16, you can move yourself 5 feet.
which is 1 block.
Correct.
I'm gonna go towards my friends.
All right. That is your
So
3.
I can't get past my waist. That's just
No. You can't
until
like
I wade
stand
out.
on top of the sand and just be like, "Hey guys, I'm not sinking anymore."
I have a quick question.
So
If theoretically I could breathe underwater, would I be fine? Or like, no?
yeah, if you were not breathing underwater, if you didn't need to breathe, or were
Okay.
capable of being buried and not having problems with that, you could just breathe underwater like a fish. It's not water, it's sand. Now there is water in it, but it's not just water.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, you're still here? You just dropped out of Discord. You're
Yeah,
coming
my phone
through.
died.
Oh,
So we're on speakerphone on mine.
I see.
All right, so that is Pipiopi's turn. Agaluku.
Pretty successful,
Yeah.
all things
Yeah.
considered.
Oh, you did great. A couple more of those and you'll be out.
I'm gonna. Oh. Nobody else is sunk in being right about.
You don't want to stride twice and get on up there next to him and pull him out of the sand.
Agaluku, I'm dying
help.
here. Give me your hand.
So like,
Everybody
let's
else
say I
stay
did
back.
let's say I did go like partway in.
Don't do.
If I went partway in, would I actually be able to like assist him in any way?
If you can get to where, if you can get to, say, this square, I think you have like a club. You could reach the club over to him and help him.
Okay. Because here's what I'm thinking. These are all athletics checks, right?
Yes.
My athletics is +5. His is +1. So like I have a better chance in the sinking sand than like.
Yep.
Is
That
like
is
my thought.
that is all very true.
Okay, so which tile did I need to get to?
You need to get at least within a square of him. So like you don't need to be directly adjacent, but you need to be like this square or this square. This would be a
Can I
little
try to like
far.
run really fast to that square with my club like reaching out so that like he can grab it as soon as possible?
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Can I like lay down? Because
Yeah.
every time I get to spread your body out, can I like lay down? Have
And if you
like
crawl, you'll be able to feel where you sink.
yeah. So can I like lay down like on my belly and like army crawl?
I think going prone is an action.
And yes, there is a crawl action. Go to the actions. I think there was a crawl anyway.
I thought so too.
There we go. Crawl. It is a single action move, and you can move 5 feet while prone.
Okay, so I could only get there
With
Like, I
one
couldn't
action.
get-
But you do have 3. You used 1 to get up to where you are currently, so you have 2 left.
Okay, but I have to take one action to get down.
No.
Okay.
You can just use the crawl action to move 5 feet while prone.
Okay. Then I want to like with like holding my club like like they do guns while they're doing army crawl. I'm gonna do that.
Well, I guess
and
there
I'm
is the
gonna
drop
use,
prone action, so you probably do have to use an action to. Well, I think drop prone is like if you're like and like dropping. I think we're fine for crawling if you're not like trying to immediately drop prone. We'll just say it's an action and you're prone, crawl 5 feet.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna like grab my club, like you do a gun when you're army crawling, and I'm gonna crawl out to there.
All right. You are able to do that. You definitely feel yourself as though you were starting to be sucked down. Go ahead and give me an athletics check. You manage to keep yourself above the sand, so you are successful.
Okay.
All right, so that is Agaluku's turn. So next round, that means Sammy is up. Oh, that there's too much she can do. That wouldn't help any. But yeah, so I think she's just going to kind of go over here and try to grab Akalupu's feet to help pull, and then she's going to hold her action to try to help when the time comes. Alright, so Quicksand is next. Quicksand is, I believe, going to just pull you down again. Yep. Alright, so the Quicksand is going to suck PPOB back down to his neck again. And that is it for its turn. So PPOB were able to struggle some ways, but then the Quicksand is continuing to pull you ever downward. Manawanui.
Alrighty. So first, I'm going to move to about here, kind of create like a chain. I'm sorry that I and then I'm going to try and ooh. I can like give my I can when I use action for my bird, that's like an action. That's an action from me, right? Or no?
No, your bird has its own action.
Oh,
It acts on your turn, but it has its own actions.
okay. Well, I am going to
Freeze every.
what is it? Can I freeze the sand or no? Is that
You
something that I?
you do not know your character does not know the answer to that.
So I can try it though, right?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty.
You
I'm
can try
gonna
anything whenever you want.
I'm gonna like aim to the right of PPOP, so right about
Like right.
like right about here. And I'm gonna do a ray of frost. We're gonna see what happens.
All right. Give me a ranged attack roll to see whether or not you manage to hit where you're aiming.
What would be a ranged attack roll? Would that be?
It should be whatever your attack normally would be for the Ray of Frost.
Oh, okay. Stop. I got a 24.
All right, so yes, you are able to hit that square quite easily. Yeah, you could see little tendrils of frost spreading around the moist sand there.
And then for my last thing, because I guess my bird only has one action, right? Probably.
No, your bird has 3 actions.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna try and get my bird to kind of like pull him over to that spot, so it can maybe
Okay.
grab on. Would that
Let's
be
get
an
some
athletics?
athletics checks.
Alrighty, I believe in you.
Now, do you want your bird to attempt to aid PPOP in his athletic checks, which is going to be a much lower number that you need to hit, or are you trying to do your own athletic checks to actually move PPOP?
Oh. Can I just do like 2 one way and then 1 the other, or no?
You can only aid once,
Okay.
and if you're aiding, you
So,
can't really just like do it for him.
oh, I see. Yeah, I'll aid him.
All right. So go ahead and roll athletics. See if your bird is able to help.
Dang it. So my first roll was a 4. Can I do that 2 more times since he has 2 more actions, or no?
No, you can only try to aid once.
Alrighty, I'm gonna use a hero point to re-roll. I do have one, thank you. Don't I?
Yeah, everyone gets 1 hero point at the beginning of the round of a session, and then PPOP had 2 because he gave the synopsis at the beginning.
I didn't even give myself one because I messed it up so bad.
Wasn't that bad.
Start out with 1. I thought we started out with 0. My bad.
At the begin, you reset to 1 hero point at the beginning of every session. And yeah, PPOP can have that second one, so you're only
I'm
down
not
to
gonna
1.
use it. I refuse. I don't deserve it.
Okay.
Okay, I got an 18 this time.
Well, you can. You re-rolled. All right. So yeah, that is enough to aid. So PPOP will have a
Yes.
bonus on
Bird
his
power.
turn.
Sure hope this is the worst.
So that is Mana Wanui. PPOP, you are up.
Okay, no whammies, no whammies. Athletics check number 1 is a 10.
All right. Even with aid, that is not enough.
Okay, athletics check number 2 is a 6.
Yeah, also not enough.
Athletics check number 3 is a 13.
All right. So that is just barely enough with aid. So with the help of the bird, you are able to pull your way back up, and you are now submerged to your waist once again.
I can't just move and remain up to my neck.
No. You can only move when you are up at your waist.
Got it. So this turn was a wash.
Yeah. You were able to keep from sinking any further, but
I'm
not able to
treading
make
water.
any progress. All right,
Using all my
Agaluku.
energy.
Yeah. Agaluku, you are up.
Okay. I'm going to reach my pull out.
Okay.
For try to pull it myself.
Also, that's where my
Yeah. Well, I'm just like pull him to myself with the option of going close enough by possible spot so that if it throws it.
All right, you're breaking up quite a bit, but what I'm getting is that you are holding out the club, which PPOP is able to grab, and then you are going to try to pull him.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and like pulling him slightly towards the possibly frozen part, so that if it is frozen, he could like get on it, I guess, or something.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll me athletics.
Agaluku, Agaluku, Agaluku.
Apparently, I make it worse.
Yes, unfortunately, with a critical failure, the creature is pulled down one step. So you try to help, but I guess you accidentally just kind of like slip while you're trying to like crawl and reach out with the stick, and you just end up like PPOP grabs the stick, but then you just push him deeper. PPOP is down to his neck now.
And I'm guessing when he's down to his neck, like he can't. He's not like still holding onto the pole.
No,
Not
he can
close.
still hold on to it if he wants to, and you do still have 2 actions left if you want to try again.
Okay, I'm going.
So
to try
PPOP,
again.
are you gonna keep holding on to this stick?
Absolutely.
All right.
Alright, I'm going to try again. That's better.
There we go. All right. So you're able to you managed to kind of like wiggle around, like maybe you had started to sink in on one side, and that's where you had accidentally pushed him down. But you're able to kind of wriggle around and find some footing again, and you are able to pull him back up to his waist.
Alright. I'm gonna go one more time, see if I can close. Please don't be
Close one.
Yep.
I have the
Alright.
worst roll.
Well, let's see if Sammy can aid, and depending on how she rolls, she might be able to help you. But I will remind
She
you,
did that one.
she has a +0.
Yeah.
I don't know if it helps, but like I'm behind Sammy. I don't know if that means I can aid or not.
Well, you used your actions already.
Oh, that's right, because she held hers, didn't she?
Oh my god.
Oh.
So,
Wait, does she have a hero point? Can she use a hero point?
as an NPC, no, unfortunately not.
Darn it.
So Sammy, like tries to help by pulling on your feet, but all she manages to do is she actually sinks down to her waist in the sand.
Dang it!
So that is it for her held action.
That was pretty useful. Really well used actions there, guys. Thanks for all your help.
Hey, there may or may not be a frozen spot next to you, okay?
All right,
Thank you
so
for the may or may not icy spot. Schrodinger's icy spot over here is the best we can do.
exactly. You know, once you observe it though, then it'll be one or the other. You just have to test it.
There you go.
It's okay. We got this.
All right, so Quicksand goes first now because Sammy held her turn. So Quicksand is now going to suck both Sammy and PPOP down to their necks in the sand. That is its turn. Anawanui.
Alrighty.
I would pull Sammy out of the quicksand.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna try and pull Sammy out of the quicksand with my first action.
All right, let's get an athletic checks and don't roll 1.
We'll see.
You just like trip and just shove her under the sand, and then you turn immediately to Chi-Chi and be like, "What are you gonna do about it now? Threaten me, will you?"
I got a 15.
All right, so you are able to pull Sammy up to her waist.
And then if I like blast the spot where she's standing, will that like affect her?
Yeah, you can't hit the spot that she's in. Not without actually attacking her with your spell.
Okay. You know, it worked well last time. I don't know. Can I pull it up again or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try. You can try to
Do
pull it
you
up.
think I should pull it up again, or should I just blast this button from
I'm more worried about her dying, considering she has +0. At least like PvOP has a +1.
I'm gonna pull her up again.
All right.
I will just say I have a +0 athletic.
I'll roll high.
I rolled a 4, so
That's not
it's not a fun.
enough. You've got one more action.
I'm gonna go for it again. I got a 14.
All right. So you're not able to. Well, you're right by the edge of the sand. I'll give you that, even though it's a little bit too low. So you're able to pull Sammy out of the sand. And then, do you want to have Kishinik aid PPOP again?
I do. And let's see what he gets. There we go. Put me down, buddy. Alright, he got a 16.
All right. Kishinik is able to aid. So that is it for Manawanui's turn. PPOP.
All right. Going once. 6.
Not enough.
Going twice. That's a nat 1.
Oh no. You are now under the sand.
And going 3 times. A 20.
Okay. What do you get on a crit?
Not a crit.
Oh,
That's a
20
plus
total.
120.
Okay. I think it is a crit though, because if it's 5 or more above the DC, then it's a crit.
Ah.
So yeah, so that still counts as a crit. I would assume it's just like you get 2 toward escaping, right?
That would be very useful to me.
It doesn't say anything about a critical success that I'm seeing, so I'm just going to assume that yes, it's going to be double. So you are able to go from below the surface of the sand to waist level.
Alright.
so
Harry Potter cast to come out of the water.
yeah, so you find yourself sinking in, and in a panicked burst of adrenaline, you're able to push yourself back up. I'm sure you're really yelling at this point. Just, guys, get me out!
Yeah, this is not fun. As anyone who has tried to tread water and struggling to stay above the surface will tell you, it's not a good feeling.
No, not at all. All right, Agaluku, you're up.
It's been 3 rounds, guys. What are you doing?
Come on, Agaluku.
I'm gonna try to pull him out.
Or cross.
Hey.
Nice. All right, so you are able to move him 10 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking probably there.
Where?
Like right there.
Yep, you can do that.
Because I think that'll be his best bet getting out. Because then, if he's there, he should be pretty much close enough that even people on the shore should be able to help him.
Yeah, people from the edge of the sand would now be able to reach him.
Phew.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. And that was just one turn, so I still have like 3 actions, right?
Yep, you have 2 actions left.
Alright. Is there any way that I can help him get, like, even closer? Or
Yeah.
probably
Roll another
start
athletics check.
Oh my god.
You accidentally highway.
All right, you
No,
have what
it
you.
wasn't a big one.
It was close though. All right, you
I
got
can
what
shake
one.
the feeling that Agaluku's trying to kill me.
I got 23. I got
Oh,
23.
right. So with that, you are able to get both yourself. You kind of like do a roll and a drag, and you manage to pull both yourself and PPOP out of the sand.
There we go.
And go ahead and give yourself a hero point, being so heroic.
Woo. I'm immediately laying out in starfish pose, corpse pose, solid ground.
Kishina just comes over and just like lands on your lands right above your head and kind of like pecks at you gently,
I'm
right
too
at the
worn out
bald
to
spot where it pulled your hair out.
I'm too worn out to even swat him away. I'm just taking it.
Well, that was fun.
We need a plan.
But yeah.
I see now what the hermit meant by soft spots.
Could have been a bit more clear though.
Yeah, I was
I'll,
envisioning like maybe little holes,
erosion.
little
I'll-
foot-sized holes, maybe sink a few inches down. That was not it.
It's not too late to go back and climb, though I don't know how much better that would go for us.
Yeah, seems.
I say we carry on.
Well, do you think we can freeze a path across?
Right? Like, why don't you try freezing a spot that's a little closer, and then we could try that. Like right.
Like one at a
I'll
time.
step up.
Is
Boom.
Ray of Frost a cantrip? It is. Okay, so you could do that.
Not that I don't care about PPOP, but that was one of the things I looked at before.
You're like, I'm not going to waste a spell slot on saving PPOP. Obviously.
Let's go to the cost benefit analysis. All right, we're gonna try and do one like right there. So I guess we're gonna go for this spot first. Alright. Got a 24. Do I need to roll these?
Nah, at this point, you're able to just do it. So you're just making a little path across, kind of like this.
Yes.
Cool. Alright, you do so with a few blasts. You definitely feel a little drained after that much magic, but you're able to do it.
Whew.
I put my finger to my nose and say, not it.
Oh, Akalupu will step on it. I mean, also that way I'm the heaviest. So like, if anyone's gonna break it and like it not work, it'll be me, and I'll probably have the best luck at like not dying if I can.
Here, take my staff so you can check the path ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like take my. Well, I'll just use my club.
Oh, okay.
I'll just use
I
my
didn't
club
see
and
the
like kind of
device.
press on it a little bit, not like slamming it, pushing on it like a.
Yeah, so you,
Well,
you
with
do that, and it's about the consistency of like a frozen dairy dessert.
I will step on.
It is quite cold on your tootsies, but it seems to hold your weight.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and walk across if possible.
So you indeed make it about halfway out, and it all feels fine.
Cool. Can I go like the rest of the way?
Yeah. All right, and we are hitting a little over an hour and a half. Do we want to wrap up or do we want to keep going?
I think I actually
cross at least.
I sprint across, but I was gonna say I would like to wrap up. I'm actually feeling a little under the weather today.
Sounds like a deal. So yes, everyone is able to cross on your little ice bridge without any further incident. And we will pick up from here next time. So let's go ahead and go through, and let's start with Agaluku. What have you learned?
I can learn. That he's either really good at things or bad at things. And there really is not much.
I don't know if that's entirely true, but sure. What about PPOP?
PPOP learned that there's a fine line between helping and hurting a situation, and you gotta walk that line very closely.
Yeah. And what about
Agaluku.
Yep. And then what about Manawanui?
Manawanui learned that even though little cute mice with names like Chi-Chi might seem cute, they might be sinister and planning your downfall.
But are they, or was it just a nightmare? Never
Eh,
know.
I have
It
a
was
feeling I'm
all a
gonna
dream.
find out unpleasantly.
Well, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. All right, well, thanks everyone for joining me, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.